Hello and welcome to another video from the Gaming Nights. I'm Acalian and today I'm going to be showing off a mod that I've made for Total War Saga Thrones of Britannia. It's been up on the workshop for a couple of weeks now and we've been working on it whilst it's been on the shop, so hopefully I'll get to show off some of the changes we've made. Now there is a full description if you would like to check out the mod on the Steam workshop. But basically we've made some changes to the vanilla abilities and formations, added some new ones and changed and added some different things like different types of ammo and things like that. And we also changed the unit sizes, as you can see here. Anyway, I'm going to load up the game with the mod. Just to check. It is activated. Yep, that's good. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to cut straight through the opening scenes, as I'm pretty sure most people have seen it, and if
Ragnar
not,
Lothbrok
you'll be able to
lies dead
find it
in the
somewhere on
Northumbrian
YouTube.
dungeon.
Okay, so first of all, I'll just go straight into a battle. We use Difflin, because why not? Okay, so let's get spear unit. Probably just get one of each type of unit. Okay, so already on the unit cards you can see here we've got a shield wall that's obviously changed quite a bit from vanilla, and that one is kept as an actual shield wall to represent more of what we would call a wall of shields. The vanilla one they had, we've used a shield castle to give it a more of a block for missiles, as opposed to being similar to shield wall, which is more for when you are in melee combat. All of the units apart from the artillery have this as well. It's rapid advance, which just adds a bit more of a unique variant to the game. So some of them, I don't think any of these have, but we have added some different what they call them, passive abilities to some units. Not in that one, so but yeah, so the sword units and axe units, they all have the shield wall and shield castle ability and rapid advance, as you can see. So the spear units have again their own versions, which is spear wall and spear castle, which are again basically the same, the different animations and things like that. So yeah, if you'd like to see them out, just you can pause the video and hopefully you'll be able to catch a glimpse and not going too fast. Okay, so next up we have the axe infantry, the one-handed axes. Now in this, as you can see, it does go slightly over the line at the moment, but what we've got here is our missile damage, which is a missile we've added for the one-handed axes only, so both one-handed axe units will have them. And taking into account what type, so levy, retinue or elite, they will have greater accuracy, and when you get to elite you'll get an extra bit of ammunition as well. So what all it is a type of throwing axe, which we felt was something that the game didn't have but was actually relevant to the time period, so that's why we added them in. Now it is a precursor weapon, so basically that means whilst they will fire, throw these axes every now and then towards the enemy and whatnot, they will do a charging throw if you have them charging into battle, as hopefully we'll get to demonstrate when I go into battle in a minute. Okay, so next one is the Huskarls, or the two-handed axemen. So we've changed the wedge formation so that they have their own infantry wedge, as you can see here. you know, and also any that are classed as Raider and Berserker, I think it is. Basically the two-handed axes and the Berserkers and Shield Biters, I think it is. No, just the Berserkers and the two-handed axes. So they have this Axe Fury, which is great to use when you're, getting towards the end of a battle, but that 60% fatigue will absolutely, decimate your unit. So I think it's a pretty fair trade with the stats that we've given them. You might have noticed, and I've been flicking through these so far, that the Shield Biters and Berserkers only have 135 men, and in vanilla they do have less than the rest of them, and we've just upgraded them at the same sort of stat as to what we did. If you saw earlier on in the video when I showed you the increase in unit sizes, you'll see what I mean. So I think it was 80 was for the standard for these and for missile units, and we've put it up to 135, whereas most have around 300, 200. It does vary a bit, but hopefully that just means your armies will vary a bit more, and hopefully the AI's armies will be a bit more varied. We do plan to see if we can change anything else in terms of variation in the future, but for now this is hopefully solid enough to keep going with. So as you can see, that's the standard shot and rapid advance. We have added guerrilla deployment to these and some other units. I think it's the Shield Biters and the Warhounds. We also added the Stalk ability, which means they can move hidden in any terrain, pretty much get really close to the enemy before they're spotted. We did the same for that with the Hounds as well. So that does make battles quite interesting, especially for you as well, because sometimes you'll just get some Hounds attacking you from behind that you never noticed, or from your from your flank or something like that. And that can be quite a surprise. It's more fun on multiplayer as well. Okay, so archers here, we've got precision fire, which, as you can guess, lowers the rate of fire but increases your accuracy and range. And we also increased the damage a little bit, as we felt when we were sort of role playing this and looking things up. If you are trying to be more accurate, to an extent, you're going to be holding the arrow long. You're going to be holding and pulling on the bow longer so that you can aim longer. Now, obviously, you aim too long, and holding that bow just gets too strenuous. Hence the fatigue debuff. But because you're pulling on it a lot more as well, we also think that you might put a little bit more power into it, and because there's that much more momentum, we think there'd be a little bit more impact. So that's why we added the missile damage. And the same thing for the range as well. If there's more power, more momentum, we're probably going to travel a little bit further. We've also added a rapid fire, which basically does the opposite. Now, if you do use both at the same time, which you can, you will still get a small buff, but obviously at the end you will get a massive fatigue debuff. So whether or not it's worth it, that's completely up to you and depends on your situation. All missile units, as well as the artillery units, have been added with a refill ammunition, which you can use 3 times, and this stops you from you and the AI basically having infinite ammo, whilst also giving you the ability to reuse your missiles, which we felt was a bit more beneficial to the game. So javelin men again have the same things. They don't have any extra type of shot yet. No different ammo types. We haven't decided whether or not we want to give them a new ammo type, but in the future, if we decide to, we will update people. Okay, so melee cavalry. The melee cavalry, we now have this flying wedge instead of the traditional wedge, which is what's used for the infantry wedge now. So it does a similar thing, basically increase speed, better charge bonus, but you automatically will be getting a 15% fatigue debuff as you are staying in the formation. So we think that helps balance it out a bit. And obviously, again, they've got rapid advance, which coupled together with the flying wedge can be good, but again, with the fatigue debuffs, it depends on how the battle is going. So again, the missile cavalry, similar thing. They have refill ammunition. They only have one shot because they use javelins at the moment, and they have rapid advance. The siege weapon, the catapult, their artillery, we have added in a rapid volley ability. So as you can see, it adds a 50% rate of fire, but with reduced accuracy and range, and at the end you do get a small fatigue debuff. The other thing with this is it automatically forces you to only be able to use the standard round, and this is because we figured it would be more realistic, because if you're trying to fire rounds rapidly, then you're not going to be wanting to do the other things that we've got with other rounds, such as like the flaming round. You're not, it's going to take you longer to pour the fire and, pour the oil and light it on fire and get the oil, get the rock. Whatnot. It'll take longer. Whereas if you use a standard round, it's just pick up the rock, put it on, pull it back, fire. Obviously not quite as simple. There's a bit more, it's a bit more involved, but you get the point. So that's why we've done that, and we think it adds a bit more of a dynamic to the actual type of ammunition you're going to be using when and where as well. So hopefully that'll make the play style when using the artillery a bit more varied for both the player and the AI, hopefully. So this is the standard round. We've put the damage to 90 for both base and armor piercing. The reload time we've set at 40 after looking at how long it actually takes to reload a full-sized onager, which is the kind of, the catapult kind of this type of artillery anyway. And we also added in flaming rounds, as I said before. So it still has a base damage of 90 because it's the same rock. It's it's still going to have the same damage. It also has the fire damage. Now it does say 300 explosive damage, which, as far as I can tell, is kind of the range that the fire spreads, as opposed to the actual damage of the fire. Because no matter what, whenever I've tried to change the fire damage numbers in the mod, it still comes out at 300. Even if I set fire damage to 1, it still comes out at 300. So I think it might be more to do with the actual spread of the fire, but we will keep testing. In the meantime, this is what it's going to stay at, and it doesn't seem to be much more damaging than the standard round. Obviously, you do have a bit more damage from the fire, but it doesn't seem to do much more. And obviously, we've added this bonus to cavalry because of the fact that I know from personal experience that a lot of horses will panic around flames, and we figured this was sort of in line with the flaming arrows that you have, with them having a bonus versus cavalry, and that's why we added that in. Again, the reload time on these is slightly increased. The original is 40 and this goes to 50, and that's due to adding the oil and setting fire to the oil. So the third type we have called Large Rock, which, self-explanatory, is just a much larger type of ammunition than the standard round. This one has more base damage, more armor piercing, but it also has a much longer reload time. But it also has the bonus of a plus 15 bonus versus infantry. At the same time, it does have a reduced range, because if you are firing a much heavier load from a catapult, it's not going to be able to travel as far. So we caused it to have a reduced range on the game. So those are the changes. I think we have yeah, we added encourage to catapults because I mean, if you're in an army with catapults, most of the time you're going to be happy because you can sit back and and you know, encouraged by the fact that you're going to be able to pound the enemy for a relatively safe distance for a while before you actually have to do any fighting. So we added a small encourage to that one. We also added the mighty knockback, which again, self-explanatory. It causes the enemies to get knocked backwards pretty consistently. It doesn't look overpowered, but it does stop quite a few of the members of a unit if they are charging at you when getting hit. Hopefully, we'll be able to see that during this next battle as we go on. So let's go through. Let's just add a couple of spears. Just want to get across some of the things. It's a couple of berserkers. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. And I'll add a second cap on for us. Why not? Add a third. Okay. Let's start this battle. Okay, so you can already see in the loading screen the different numbers as we've changed them. So, like with the catapults, we've changed them from 40 to 60, and thus we've added another 2 catapults into each unit. We did the same with the hounds. When we upgraded their unit size, we added more dogs to it to balance it out again. Okay. So, let's set up these fairly quickly. No particular order. We'll put the axemen in.
Where's the fight? Commanders!
Let's just set that up over there.
Spearmen!
Just so I can show some of these new things. Okay, let's go.
Catapults!
Okay, let's turn auto fire off.
Bowmen! Riders!
Actually, we'll leave it on for those ones. Okay, so
Spearmen!
first off, let's start this. And the first thing we'll do is we'll get our catapults firing. So I'll use the flaming round on
Fire
one,
artillery!
standard on the other. And let's aim for this pretty bundle.
Darken the skies!
Hopefully, there you go.
The enemy are on us!
There's your knockback. See how it managed to knock a few of them off their charge. So I think that's quite a good aspect to it.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden
The
units.
rest of the unit it does carry on. Looks like these are throwing their axes now.
Crush them!
Charge.
Break down! Forward!
Okay, let's get on.
Catapult! Get
Let's flaming now. Okay, so let's get
Axemen!
these moved up.
With speed, warriors!
These moved up.
The battle is turning in our favor. Battle orders! With speed, warriors!
All of these up. So we've got the loose spacing that we've added into. We've added into the two-handed axemen, the cavalry, and the missile units.
As ordered!
Let's put them in loose spacing just for a second.
Bowmen!
They're moving forward.
Hasten yourselves!
Okay, so
Axemen! Fire the artillery!
get those into position, and then I'll show you what they look like. Let's fire into this bit. Let's see if we can use the...
Loose missiles!
Okay, so these are the spears, and this is, at the moment is the spear wall they have, and let's go ahead and put them into spear castle. Yeah, there we go, so we've got a defensive front line with spear castle. Let's get these into... so we can check that out. There we go. We'll move these over into there as well. Okay, so the next lot is the axes. So again, these have those throwing axes that we wanted. And just to show you first, let's put them into shield. So you can see what it looks like. Pretty much just go straight. Flows nicely between the two formations. Okay, so if you single click and you're walking normally, then they should stay in the wall formation for the axe and sword units. The spear units will run in spear wall, the axe units and sword units.
See! They flee before our might! With speed, warriors! Battle order!
Ahead here.
Hurry! Catapults! Very well! Attack from range!
So let's get these charged in now. Just
crush them! Get them! Hurry! Axemen! Shift it! Run them down!
Because these are in their spear wall, they don't really do a charge in spear wall properly. They sort of maneuver inwards instead of charging. If you were to take them out of the spear wall and not charge, they would do a proper charge. I don't know if anyone's a Game of Thrones fan, but this reminds me of the way the Boltons were. Nice. Will know what I'm on about without me giving away too many details to people who are watching, haven't started watching. Okay, so these guys will all use their axes. So we'll get them charging as well. My cavalry are over here, so at the moment they're not in formation. We'll get them going around and flanking. Now obviously this battle should have gone a bit quicker and a bit better. I'm trying to do it in a way that shows most of the abilities. Okay, so let's move these archers up.
Where's the fight? Quick now! Archers! Speed it up!
Okay, so if we go here, and charge it now. There you go, they've got that debuff now because they're charging and in flying wedge.
Crush them! Getting pummeled!
There we go. Charge, let's do that. You guys here. Forget about you. Okay, so the archers are firing now. Yeah, we've got the precision fire. Oh, I forgot to look at the different shots. Obviously, the flaming shot and standard. And the new one we added in is the heavy shot. Now I have tweaked the actual damage for all of these a little bit to sort of give them a bit more of their
See,
usage.
they flee before our
Obviously
might.
the heavy shot for Acalian units tends to be best. So let's go with that against these. Okay, I've got them on guard mode at the moment. On guard mode, so let's take them off. Okay, let's send a charge through here as well. Yep.
Battle awaits.
Do that again. Good volume.
We can cavalry! Ready for war! Up the pace, man! End them! We're taking missile fire! Ready! Where's the
Obviously, these units as shield wall once they're engaged, and hopefully they'll give them chance with extra shield. Now, the AI will do the same most of the time, unless they're being a bit stupid or feeling like they're going to get destroyed anyway.
Our force will fall.
But most of the time they do tend to use the charges on the shield walls and castles as should be. So thankfully that's pretty good. Okay, so these are charging straight into them.
break down!
These ones, this rapid advancing and focus buffs for speed and charge. Melt into and I do believe we're going to win soon, so who's left? 8 berserkers. Okay, let's start off. Let's just...
The enemy general is dead.
See, even with rapid advance on, they won't specifically do a proper charge.
Got them.
Because they're trying to keep themselves in a spear wall formation. So if you do want them to charge, you have to take them first. Do a bit of mopping up because we can.
You proved your word, Venom! Tonight we celebrate!
Normally, obviously, I'd put this on full speed and mop up if I was in campaign and try and get rid of most of the enemy. Because, again, why the hell not? But there you have it. Those are all the different tweaks. I'll probably be adding more videos as we update and showing more of the different abilities they have. But hopefully this was a nice little preview for anyone who's interested in the mod or just likes watching Total War mod videos in general. So thank you for watching, and well, I hope to see you next time.